All right, we have an update from MDG. Actually, it's kind of a 2-in-1, really. But stay tuned, it ain't over yet. So the first time they get back to me, they said, "Look, we'll give you like 100. I think it was 100 or 200 off." Anyways, I said no. I said, "Look, I was told the contract was 30 months, not 44 months, like my website account says." Well, and I'm like, no, not well, okay. We verified with the sales department while filling out the application. We verified with the verification department because you have to get a hold of them once they email or call you, right? To verify everything's cool with your name, your address, all that shit, right? And we verified multiple times, I told him, is it 30 months? Because we're not getting into the MacBook Air fiasco all over again where I screwed over on that one. And I sent it back because I'm not paying that kind of ludicrous money for a $2,000 price tag of a computer. I mean, this is not happening. Okay, now this one's only 22, I think it was $22.49 on their website. Well, sir, like your account balance, you can pay it off in 30 days and no interest. I said, you're missing the banana boat. I already know how your shit works. I've been dealing with your companies for a long, long time now, for many years. And I said, it's not about the main price I'm paying for the computer and whether or not I can pay it off in 30 days. It's an open contract. I can pay it off at any time and save on interest. I know this, okay? What I'm talking about is the simple fact that that would never happen unless I got a windfall again, okay? So number two, not going to happen. I'm not going to be paying it off early because I already know I don't have the money. That's why I'm on monthly payments, right? I said so, and I don't care that the base price that's listed doesn't include the interest. I know there's interest to pay. I'm not a freaking moron here. I know my stuff, right? So anyway, I said, the arrangement made between sales and verification, which is your financing department, stipulated the contract is only 30 months, period. And you're trying to go against that because I did not sign a contract for 40. Well, you signed a contract. Yeah, no shit I did. But I did not in anywhere sign a contract agreeing to 44 months. This comes after the fact when verification department, I talked to them, they verified 30 months. I'm fine with that. My wife was fine, or we weren't going to do it because at 44 months, like we are being nailed for, that is excessive and overly excessive. And it doesn't even matter how much I financed on your website. There's no numbers up there on bi-weekly that would even be cut in half to equivalent 44 months at any dollar value, period. Okay? So, because you go to that total cost area, I told him, right? And he says, yeah, but there's still interest. I says, I know there's interest. Like, are you not freaking... Give me your damn supervisor. So, of course, I got the soup on the phone. Now, it's just one thing after another. No, that call was recorded in the end, okay? And I said, look, number one, you've committed an act of fraud, which is actually a criminal offense. No, we haven't. Well, yes, you have, because you told me on the phone 30 months, and then you are charging me 44 months according to my account. That's fraud, because I verbally agreed under the understanding of the contract multiple times with my wife present as a witness. And if we went to court, you guys are like toast, okay? Like, well, we record all of our conversations. I said, I really hope you do, because this one's being recorded too, okay? So anyway, I said, so you need to really check into shit, because right now I've got you on fraud to start with. Okay, then you have misrepresentation if you want to bring that into the mix. Okay, now we have undue stress because you're stressing the shit out of me for no good reason, because you do not want to stick to your agreement with me, which was 30 months. Okay, multiple time verified. Well, I'm going to have to look into that and make sure. I says, I think you better. And while you're at it, you better consult your counsel too. And I don't need a lawyer. I says, I already went to law school once, okay? So I says, you got no clue who I am. He says, no, I don't. I says, well, if we have to mix it up in court, we will. Because I really don't mind. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm going to allow you to take me to court. Well, it won't come to that, sir. Well, it just might. I mean, you never know. Okay? Because, see, I'm going to tell you guys something. When it comes to this kind of bullshit, the second you make a first payment, okay, you've agreed to the contract. Okay? So that means I have X amount of days, because it's due at the end of the month, to put a stop payment on that particular account, because I have now 4 accounts. I have 2 accounts for personal loans with them. I have an account for the freezer that I bought last year. Okay, now I'm okay with all those accounts. Those were agreed upon terms. Those were verified with the verification department over the phone, how many payments it would be. Everything went smooth there. It's when I bought that MacBook Air, everything went to shit, okay? So, and then I said, by the way, I was unfairly penalized for 3 months because of a staff member's screw up, apparently, by telling me one thing and then another thing happened. I said, we went through this shit with the MacBook Air. I'm not paying 4 freaking years on that computer. That was ridiculous. So, yeah, of course I sent it back. Okay? And then I get penalized for 90 days of not being allowed to finance anything because of somebody else's screw up. I said, that's unfair. Okay, and I said, I'd bring all that into court too with me too, because it just shows repetitive bullshit. Now, here's the thing. Most companies that say they record a conversation, a lot of them actually don't. Okay, but there are those that do. And as it turns out, MGG does. Okay, so he calls me back. I'm at the gun shop, trying to do business here, trying to possibly buy a 303. Anyways, and I'm like, dude, call me back in like a half an hour. I'm not dealing with this bullshit right now. I'm trying to do business in a store here, okay? So, of course, I don't get the call back. But in the meantime, that guy did go into the voice files of the recordings, okay? And what I got back from him, briefly at least on that call, was he did verify, okay? Now, I didn't get a chance to record that one, but it doesn't matter. Because if they destroy any of those recordings, they can be held accountable for that. So if it comes to court, they're going to have to provide that as evidence, because it's going to be requested into evidence, the voice conversations with verification sales department and this whole 30-month thing, right? In which case, they're automatically toast. They're going to have to honor it. It's not a choice. Why push me that far? Or why push any of this as far? Okay? So, and I can legally withhold payment until this is settled, okay? So that means I got to keep the money in the bank account, which is fine, all right? But I can legally withhold payment, but as soon as I make one payment, I'm on the hook for 44 months. That's the thing. And so this is where you got to watch yourself. And this is all unsecured credit, by the way. So, I mean, I could just completely screw them over if I wanted to on all my accounts, and they can't do shit except give me bad credit. And that's it. It's like, I'll never own a house anyway. I'm going to be 60 in a few years, so why do I give a shit? So anyway, but I'm not going to screw them over. That's not who I am. It's not what I do. But I do put companies in their place to try and screw me, okay? So I've done it before, and I told them, I says, I did it to Bang Good. I says, they tried to screw me on a deal over a $300 quadcopter. I chopped in a video, shared it all over social media, probably cost them at least $1 million in sales. I costed them something because they panicked, they freaked out, they called me. Please, delete the video. We will make sure this never, ever happens to you again, and this is what we're going to do, right? You guys follow that fiasco if you're on my channel in the RC world enough. You know, okay? So now we got to deal with this bullshit. So anyways, he did verify that we were telling the truth. I says, I have no reason to lie to you, buddy. But thank you for finding out that we were right and that your staff members multiple times verified the contract was only 30 months. Okay? Now, I said, I have no documented proof of contract where it says 44 months because you guys don't give us that. Okay? And so, of course, they can send me a copy. But the thing is, I never signed a contract that in anywhere during going over those pages did it say 44 months. It didn't say anything. I says, the only thing I have is an account summary that says a bi-weekly payment, but I don't pay bi-weekly, I pay monthly. That's my account. I pay monthly on everything, right? So, and I says, there's the base price, there's the taxes. And he says, yeah, there's interest. I says, no shit, Sherlock, I already knew that. And I know it's interest that occurs, right? So, anyway, they have a weird, strange way of doing things. I mean, if you have a contract term for 3 years, okay, or in this case, 2.5, right, then it should stipulate a grand total amount that gets chopped down as you go, right? Makes sense, okay? So this way you know what you actually owe in total if you go to term, right? So in this case, no, they don't do that on MDG. They literally just, this is your price you've paid with taxes on your account thing, and you got 44 months. Now, if you were to look at 44 months at that price rate, which is like, for me, I think it's like 126 something, if I remember right. I think I'm getting sick. Yeah, it's 126.86. Now, if you take that 126.86, 126.86 times 44 months, that's $5,581 on a computer that costs $22.49. Okay, so if you minus $22.49, that's before taxes, obviously. Okay, that leaves a balance of $3,332.84. Now, I'm not likely, even if I'm paying their highest interest rate, that's not cool. Okay, now, if you take 126.86 times 30 months, that's $3,805. Okay, minus $22.49 pre-tax, it's $1,556. Now, there's not hundreds of dollars here in taxes to pay. Okay, so they're still making at least $1,400 in interest, which would be reasonable at 2.5 years. I have no qualms with 30 months worth of payments and paying that interest amount, right? So, but if we take $22.49 times 1.13, because this is before all the interest and bullshit, so you have a $25.41.37. Okay, so yeah, I was quite correct. It's a couple $100. So they're still making about $1,200, we'll say, in interest charges, which is more than fair. Okay, so they're not a rip-off joint like Rental Cities, Wells Fargo, and many other places can be. So, but I'm not paying 44 months because I didn't agree to 44 months. I'm trying to get this through the guy's head. And he actually admitted on the phone, yes, I verified with the voice recordings, you are correct. And I said, see, and you have to legally abide by that because that's legal and binding, okay? So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking you're in the wrong, I'm in the right, you just proved I'm in the right, yet you still want to me over for 44 months. That's not happening. So, the last message I got was from another person at the company. Maybe it was the same person because I didn't catch his name or remember it, but I'm going to tell you the voice message they sent me because it does it in text as well, which is kind of freaking cool of Apple. Okay, I'm going to read you their words. This is from this guy, Igor. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Igor from DJ Castor Care. Who the fuck is that? I think he needs to learn a bit better English. This is a message for Kevin. Hi, Kevin. I'm calling you back regarding our previous conversation about the newest story you made with us for Gaming PC. I didn't make any stories up. It's all facts. Sorry. Proven already. So I have double-checked everything, and since you're a long-time customer of ours, you're willing, it should be we are willing, but, you know, guy needs English lessons, to make an exception and apply $300 credit or your balance with us. And I'm like, okay, so it should be $300 credit. You know what I mean, right? Anyways, this guy needs English lessons. He did pretty good in his words for the most part, but so for the entire situation with the lady store, what that you have, in that case, your balance will be decreased by $300. Yeah, I kind of figured that, which means my payment should also be lowered too, and so should the term. Okay, so he didn't say any of that, and my account still says 44 payments. Your balance will be decreased by $300. So if you can please give me a call back and let me know if this is fine for you or not. The other option that we can offer to you is to proceed with the return of the PC. No, not happening. Not giving it back. Screw you. I'm keeping it. It's mine. I like it. I don't want to return the PC. I want to pay for it, but not 44 months. I want to pay for what I was told on the phone 4 times alone, as it was, just from the verification department. Okay? Not playing their game. Okay? If you have any questions in the meantime, you can give me a call back. Phone number is blah, blah, blah. Here's the extension. Thank you so much. And that was it. Okay? So, they've admitted that I'm right and that they're in the wrong because it's 30 payments. That's the contract I agreed to. What they did on the back end afterwards is fraud, which is a criminal offense. Okay? They don't seem to understand that. So now I got to go through more bullshit. Tomorrow, I got to call them. Because I'm going hunting in the morning, so I'll get back from hunting around 8-ish. They open at 9. I'll give them a call tomorrow and go through more crap and update you guys again on more of the fiasco. And I'll be sure to record that conversation too. So, because yeah, I have even that other one, which is a really, I think it's about 16 minutes almost, somewhere around there. Anyways, it's recorded, saved on my iPhone. Apple now allows us to record phone calls, which is freaking sweet. We can now do what the crooks do, right? Because that's what they're being right now, are crooks with us. So anyway, but here, like I said, if you are dealing with any financial institution or such, in this case, when you agree on a contract for a certain term, then you agree. And I agreed to 30 months. I did not agree anywhere in any sort of writing anywhere for 44 months. I was not informed of 44 months until I signed it in my account the other day, because I thought, hey, shits and giggles, let's see if they fucked up again. And apparently they did majorly, right? 44 months, not 30. And they've admitted they have it on voice recording, 30 months, which means admissible evidence in a court of law, they have to honor it. They would be forced to honor that 30 months. Verbal consent, hello, verbal contracts, as well as written and signed digitally, but still, my contracts did not include how long the term was. That was discussed after the fact, because you're applying for the thing and signing for it ahead of time to get the financing fully approved. Verification department verifies everything is cool and whether or not you're going to have to pay a down payment or pay any shipping charges. And because the computer was over $2,000, it was free shipping, and I did not owe anything down because I have more than enough credit with them to be able to do that with no money down. So, win-win for me. Anyways, that's what I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed this long-ass video. Wait for the next one. It's going to probably get a lot more juicier over time here. See ya.